Sergey Rachimanov. Oh, this is going to be a fun video. Hi, guys. Welcome to Leave Reacts. Hope everyone's having a good day. Bam. Trying my best. I slept a lot yesterday. I'm still pretty under the weather, to be honest, but I'm feeling a little bit better than what I was yesterday. Like, my nose was so clogged up I could barely talk. It sounded like my voice was someone else's, basically. So here I am. So we're doing a track courtesy of our patron Tom. It's by Eric Carmen. The song is called All By Myself. I guess it's kind of based on the second movement of Russian composer Sergei R. Piano Concerto No. 2 in C minor, Opus 18. And the chorus was taken from the song Let's Pretend, which was recorded by the Raspberries, which is his band, in 1972. Hugh McCracken's on the slide guitar. Okay, I know Hugh. So I've never heard of Mr. Carmen before, but this should be interesting. It's a pretty big pop song, apparently. I've never heard it, though, so let's enjoy it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon and PayPal if you want to get a video just like this. That's the way to do it, and that's that. All right, here we go. Eric Carmen, All By Myself. 3, 2, 1, go.
When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone.
Yes, they are.
Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. When I dial the telephone, nobody's home. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore. Hard to be sure. Sometimes I feel so insecure,
These lyrics, yeah, I can relate.
and love so distant and obscure remains the cure.
The string compliment.
All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore.
The piano's gorgeous. Reminds me of Yanni. I don't know what kind of wink that was, but whatever. We'll just go with it. you can feel the loneliness dripping from every note. Wow. Does he play the piano too? It's perfect winter music. It feels very wintry, to be honest. It really does. You feel the wind blowing through the empty trees almost.
When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone.
Wow. Can't be almost over.
All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself
It's got a beautiful voice.
anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore.
Sound like George Harrison there for a second with the guitar. It felt like a tale of two songs there. It definitely had the pop side, and then it had the very beautiful piano. I guess that was the part taken from the composer in the middle there. It definitely felt very lonely. You know, you could definitely feel it. I see why he took that part of that concerto and put that in there for this song, because, you know, it's definitely a song about loneliness and, you know, wanting to not be lonely anymore. And that line about, you know, it was a lot different when you're younger, and I've come to realize that lately, you know, that as I've gotten older, and I don't really have many friends compared to when you're, you know, when you're young. It's a lonely life, man. Even with kids and a girl and stuff like that, it gets lonely, you know. And this is the wrong month for me to listen to this song, just because, you know, my dad died in this December, and I still haven't gotten over it. I probably never will, to be honest. But I feel him in this, man. You know, making love for fun and just having friends and stuff like that. You know, that's that wasted youth, man. You don't even really realize what you have till you're my age. You're like, shit, bro. That flew by, and I just wasted most of it, it feels like, you know? But in reality, for my purview of things, I didn't honestly waste it. Yeah, I was a freaking drug addict there for a while, but I don't know. It's, I I made memories that'll last as long as my brain will last, you know? Eventually they'll slip and fade into time. That's just what happens, but at least I can treasure them while I have them, you know? And all my friends, they're either dead or they grew up and, you know, they have their own families or they're locked up, basically, you know? It's just, I think that's everyone's story, though, you know? Even people that are, you know, twice my age, like most of my audience, you know? I bet you guys have a lot of friends that died back in the day, or you know, went to jail, or they just grew up and had a family, you know, and that just sort of it takes them away from you. And as someone who was raised, I don't know, I was raised on a lot of media and television and stuff like that that was all centered around the friend group, you know, and your friends are the most important thing, you know, and it's different nowadays because I don't really have many friends anymore, and the ones I do have, they ask me for money. Basically, that's what it is. I don't give it to them, but I don't really got it. But you know, it's just it's such an inverse, you know, when you get older, I guess, of being young and dumb, and you've got all these people, you know, and you can go over here, go over there, do this, do that, you know, and I don't know. Eric really captured that sense of, you know, being lonely for a long time, but then you're just tired of it, you know, because you know, they always say, you know, if you can't sit with yourself and be your own company, then there's probably a problem. I probably butchered that, but it's true, you know. If a man can't sit with himself, or a woman, you know, then it's there's something you need to address. And I think he really put it, you know, he didn't really, there wasn't that many lines to the song, but every word counted, and it's just like there was weight to it, you know. It was a very well crafted pop song with that beautiful piano in the middle there, and the highlights from Hugh McCracken on the slide guitar, and of course Eric's voice. Man, like, this is my first time listening to him, and I was captivated by his voice. It's different, it's unique, you know. It's not a usual powerhouse voice. It's very emotional. It's very gripping, you know. You're listening to it, and it's just like you can't stop listening to what he's saying, you know, even though he's kind of, you know, just saying the same chorus over and over. But each time it came through, it felt like there was more and more weight to it, you know. And man, like I said, that's a perfect winter song right there, because you can feel the wind, like I said, blowing through the empty trees there, and it's kind of like a metaphor for life right there, you know. There's life happening, but it's not really shaking much, you know. And I feel him on that, and I wish it wasn't that way. I wish you spent your youth lonely, even though I did that too for the most part when I was really young after my dad died. But you know, I wish we would spend our time young, kind of alone and learning ourselves more, you know, and just sort of, I don't know, building ourselves up to then when we get older we could have more meaningful relationships. And I don't know, it's kind of the opposite. I guess that's why they say the youth is wasted on the young, and I feel that more and more every day as I get older and older. It's I don't know. It's weird being on the other side of things, you know, because I didn't think I'd make it this far. I thought I was gonna die before I was 30, man. Like, I had no plans of having a family or, you know, settling down. I planned to die on my feet, basically, you know, and it didn't happen. Well, it did almost happen a couple times, but for some odd reason, I'm still here and talking to you wonderful people right now, and it's a blessing, man. Even though I do feel very lonely sometimes, it's worth it because I get to see my daughter grow up. I get to basically live in a house that I pay for. It's not, you know, the charity of, you know, some stranger who's just like, there you go, you know, you can stay here for a week or something like that, you know, which happened a lot when I was younger. And I don't know. I just, you know, in this season of the holidays, which is about giving and it's about, you know, others and stuff like that, sometimes I wish I had more than, you know, what I have so I could give more away. But, you know, I got what I got, and I am who I am, and I got to be proud of that. And thank you for that, Tom. That was beautiful. I'd say my favorite part of that, either the slide guitar, like I said already, the slide guitar from Hugh, his voice, or that piano in the middle. And I gotta find out, was that him on the piano or not? Because if it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piano. Background composition. So basically, he was writing four bars at a time, eventually completing the interlude after 2 months. He needed to put this into a song, and after listening to Sergei's second piano concerto, a piece famously used to underscore the 1945 British film Brief Encounter, he adapted the melody of its second movement to write the verse. It was in the public domain at the time, so no copyright existed on it. Big brain move right there. So I guess it was protected outside the U.S., though. So he, I guess, later contacted the estate and informed that it was protected, but they reached a 12% royalties agreement, basically, from All By Myself and then Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, which was based on the third movement from Symphony No. 2. So I guess he was a big fan. I wish it had... There's a lot of covers of it. Apparently Celine Dion did a cover of it from the album Eric Carmen. See, when I see Eric Carmen, I think Eric Cartman, like South Park. That was the first single from the album. Okay, yeah, he did play the piano and he did guitar as well. Hugh McCracken did the slide guitar solo. Steve Nill on bass. Richard Rising on... Or Rising? Raising? I don't know. Synthesizer, organ. And then Dwight Kruger and Michael McBride on drums. I did notice the drums were actually pretty good in that in certain parts. And it's a very well put together song. Like, it's almost too sad to be a hit pop song, but nevertheless, it was a hit pop song. And I kind of like my pop songs a little darker, you know. I really, you know, am partial to a lot of the 80s pop songs, the darker ones at least, you know. And I like the feeling of desolation almost that you could feel, the winter feel. It's almost like a death and rebirth sort of feel, and I like that, you know. And the piano really connected it there in the middle, and I don't think the song would have worked as well as it did if it didn't have a piano from Sergei, from his, you know, his concerto, and that, and it was beautiful. That was a very beautiful song, and it's something to reflect on. I'm definitely gonna be thinking about that for a while. And now that I've heard it, I think I've heard like not like a what's the word? Like a parody of it or something like that. Like, I swear I have. Maybe it was in a show or something like that. But I've never heard it sung like that. And I guess, you know, this is the original of it, and it was beautiful. So, as always, Tom always brings a very wide range to his Patreon picks, and I appreciate that, my friend. That was really, really good. If you guys have any other picks by Eric Carmen you think I'd like, leave it down below. I am definitely game to hear more from him, because that was a beautifully and well-crafted song. And it's, I don't know, I feel like that's something it's going to stick with me, if that makes any sense. And hopefully I can find some friends, because that would be great. And I'm going to leave it at that. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon if you want to watch a bunch of unreleased stuff. I've got full album reactions. You can get a video like this if you want. If you want me to react to a certain song, I'm definitely open. Like I said before, I'll be putting out the post for December at the end of this week. I still have a few to finish up for last month. And we'll keep it moving. Onwards to 2026. I can't believe we're like 27 days away from New Year's? Where the fuck did this year go? That's crazy, bro. It's almost 2026. And hopefully the world continues to, I don't know. I feel like everything's like falling apart right now, man. It's crazy. I look at the world and like, it's on fire. I mean, maybe it's always been on fire. We just never put it out. It just sort of changes locations, and we just sort of forget about the other fire that already went out. But, I don't know. I just wish the best for everybody this holiday season, you know? You know, everyone likes to bicker and fight, and that's what we do for our pastime, basically. They like to just, you know, like to bitch at each other, or bitch at people we don't like, or, you know, disagree with and stuff like that. But, I think there's a time coming in our world where we're going to have to put aside our differences, and we're going to have to unite to, like, take back our world from the people that run it, you know? Because it's, they're turning on us if they haven't already turned on us. It's like, it's scary, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about like a certain political affiliation, nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, the people that honestly own the world, they despise people like us. They think we should just go off ourselves, basically. And I feel like that's not a healthy condition to have, you know? And I feel like we should, I don't know, they're scared of us because, you know, that's why they keep us divided and bickering and arguing with each other about dumb stuff, because while we're doing that, it's like, you know, it's like what they said in Star Wars, you know, it's like, you know, you notice the knife in my hand, but you don't notice the knife at your throat sort of thing, or the stone in my hand, but not the knife at your throat. So they distract you over here, but over there, right in the jugular. Better wake up. Have a great day, guys.